In this tutorial, we will discuss how units operate on the map. Units move quite differently in WarPlan from other games players are used to. Every unit action is a left click to select and a right click to perform the action. When selecting a unit, hexes will be lit, partially lit, or dark. Lit hexes mean that a unit can move and attack. Partially lit hexes mean a unit can move but not attack. Unlit hexes can be moved into or attacked. Every unit has operation points. This number dictates how often a unit can move and attack. Depending on the unit is how operation points and movement are affected in the game. Land units have many operation points. Naval and air units have 2 operation points. It only takes 1 operation point to attack. A unit can attack more than once in a turn. Range is how far a unit moves per operation point and the distance they can attack. Land units have a range of 1. Air units have at least range of 6. Naval fleets have 2 separate ranges. All fleets have a 24 hex movement range. Carrier groups have a 5 hex attack range. Surface units have a 1 hex attack range. Zones of control are hexes adjacent to enemy land units larger than divisions. These hexes only affect other land units. Entering a zone of control costs land units an extra 2 operation points. Rugged hexes is a terrain type in which less of the hex is plains. These hexes cost oil-dependent units 1 extra operation point to move into if that hex is not also road or rail. Oil-dependent units usually have more operation points than other units. Blocked hexes are tiles which no unit may enter or pass through. Impassable hexes are tiles which land units and supply can't pass through. Air units may fly over these hexes but never land in them. When we select a land unit, we are shown the hexes it can move to and the operation point cost to move to that location. As noted above, we can see lit, partially lit, and dark hexes to signify where a unit can move and attack, or not move. Land units have a range of 1, which means each hex will at least cost 1 operation point. Land unit movement is affected by zones of control, terrain, and weather. A land unit can always move at least 1 hex if it has its full movement at the start of a turn. Land units can swap hexes. If a land unit is next to another land unit and hovers over them with enough operation points to move into that hex, the movement marker changes to arrows. This signifies that moving into that hex with right click will swap places with a unit. They're using the appropriate amount of operation points between both units. If one unit doesn't have enough operation points for the swap, it can't occur. A unit can move and attack as long as it has operation points remaining. Basic infantry class units can combine, detach, and split. Infantry corps can detach an infantry division, armies can split in 2. These same units can also merge. When a unit that is capable of merging with another unit is next to each other with operational points, left the player can hold the Alt key down and hover over units they want to merge with. A plus symbol will appear and will merge the units if the player right-clicks. Only divisions and split armies can perform this action. Divisions merge with other divisions and small corps. Split armies merge with other split armies. Their effectiveness and experience will be averaged between the 2 units when they merge. Land units can embark on a transport and be moved by sea. To embark a unit, select it and click the embark button at any port. Land units use 1 transport point per strength they have to transport. As long as the unit is embarked, those transport points will be considered used. A transported unit does not require any other naval unit to be with it. When a unit is transported, it can disembark at any port, on a friendly coast, or invade an enemy hex. When a land unit disembarks at a friendly port, the transport points are returned as available to the end of the turn. Clicking the port button disembarks a unit at a port. Disembarking onto a friendly coast or invade an enemy hex will spend landing craft at a rate of 1 landing craft per strength point of a land unit. To disembark or invade, toggle the show invasion hexes here. This will show all the hexes in which a land unit can disembark or invade. Green hexes are disembarked on, and red hexes are invaded using invasion combat rules. Paratroopers have a special movement ability. It can move normally, like any other unit, but it can also fly into enemy territory and drop from an air transport. A player needs an available air transport point to perform this kind of movement. Hexes that allow a paradrop will show a parachute symbol. Paradrops are subject to the interception. An unescorted paradrop that is intercepted will always fail, and the unit will lose half its strength and all its operation points of the turn. To use this function, the paratroopers need to be at 100% effectiveness. Air units have a range dependent on their air unit type. The lowest range for an air unit is 6. With its 2 operation points, an air unit can move double its range, move its range, and attack or just attack twice within its range. Air units are restricted in moving only to land hexes that are in supply that are valid airfields. When you left-click an air unit, the valid moves locations are shown. The selected air mission will light the target hexes in red. These are potential targets an air unit may attack. Targets are lit within the air unit's range. To attack the target hex, right-click on it. Air units can embark in a similar fashion to land units. Air units can only disembark at a port. Naval fleets operate similar to air units. All fleets have a 24 hex movement range per operation point. Fleets may only move into water hexes. Some water hexes are coasts or also land. Their movement may not end or pass through an enemy fleet, enemy port, neutral port, or minefield. Carrier groups in the fleet have a 5 attack range. All other naval groups have a 1 hex attack range. Naval units are unique as they have a separate move range from their attack range. A fleet close to an enemy can move and attack. A fleet far away from an enemy can only move to the enemy location. Any fleet transporting a land or air unit may not attack an enemy target but does defend itself. Naval fleets can supply land units on the coast, acting as supply trucks with minimal supply source for its own hex and the hexes it surrounds. Naval fleets also support any land unit that occupies the same hex with shore bombardment when land unit is attacked or attacks. One thing you may have noticed is that all units are visible on the map, but many enemy units have different symbols on them. The fog of war system in WarPlan does not rely on units being visible on the map. It relies on reconnaissance. The closer an enemy is near your own coast, the higher the reconnaissance level. High reconnaissance levels allows parts of information to be revealed about the unit. Reconnaissance will also be covered in combat tutorials as it is an important factor in finding enemy fleets.